and did mention that they're playing their third game in 8 matches and they remain unchanged from their last game. Of course, Watkins in goal, Pennicook, Price, Flemings and Campbell in front of him, Satchel, Thompson, McCain and Reid in the middle of the park behind Barnett and Gray, Dwight.
Yeah, and Gray, as you mentioned there, he'll be expected to take the opportunities once they fall to Tivoli today. They will need to do that, and they're in their 4-4-2 formation with a diamond in the middle of the park so that they can nullify their opponent, who may have 3 central players. But Gray, as we said, and Barnett are going to be a handful for their opponents today.
Yep, so that's the Tivoli Gardens team linking up for the final time before the kickoff. And of course, Cavalier taking their team photo, and their starting lineup is an interesting one as well. Coach Rudolph Speed electing to go with a lot of industry players. They will play 3 at the back. In front of Jadine White, you have Leng, King and Topi. 4 in the middle of the park, Irving, Ming, Doxley and Murray. And the 3 up front, Simpson, yep, Kamoy Simpson, Dwayne Atkinson and Shaniel Thomas. We usually see a Kamoy Simpson in a deeper role, Dwight Jeremiah.
Well, I think he's trying to nullify threats and try and see if he could play from a higher line to try and stop his opponent today, playing a 3-4-2-1 system. But wide players are going to be critical in this system, and as I said before, Tivoli plays a diamond. 3 maybe in the middle of the park here for Cavalier, so they could be outnumbered at times.
As we take a look at the highlights, Cavalier had a couple of chances, although they really didn't make use of them in the first half. A couple of wayward attempts. This from Melvin Doxley, wide of the mark. To be fair, there wasn't a lot of goal mouth activity in that first half. This shot was blocked inside the area by Fleming. Kyle Ming with the effort. Or it was Campbell who blocked the shot earlier, actually, and went down for a few. This effort, wide of the mark from Jamoy Topi, who was given the space to let fly, and he did, but it wasn't accurate, the shot. Come second half, ball played inside to Shaniel Thomas. Wasn't quite expecting it. Leng putting it on a platter though, and Thomas couldn't guide it goalwards. Ball sent inside by Tivoli Gardens, and the shot was blocked on that occasion. And then Trayvon Reid trying to put that one on target. Fleming's making a run forward, maintaining his composure, but there was not a lot of power in that shot, and it trickled through to goalkeeper Jadine White. He lost the ball in a dangerous area, did Topi, and it was time for Tivoli Gardens to try and capitalize, but that wasn't the best ball forward for Rachel Morgan, who was looking for something, but he was always under pressure there to get on the end of that one. And the Leng was in the right place at the right time, applying that pressure. And the long throw inside the area, bouncing him off Cudley. Atkinson with the effort, handled by Watkins. And then another delivery looking for Irving, who sets up Purcell. Purcell's effort straight to the keeper. Beating one, beating the second, and then the shot, forcing White to make the save. Nelson had come on as a substitute. That's Anthony Nelson. One former Stats player to another, making the save. And then the counter. Anderson came on the park less than a minute before, got by the goalkeeper, and then placed it into an empty net. And that was counter-attacking football at its very best. That was a lovely ball from Nikashe Murray, and Anderson with the neat finish. Murray quietly doing his work, and Anderson clinical. And weren't they happy to get that lead? Final bit of action. Cavalier defending for all they were worth, just trying to clear their lines. And then that was the final kick of the afternoon. Teddy Johnson blazing that high and wide. Tivoli Gardens with 8 shots, 2 on target. Cavalier with 7 shots, 4 on target. 31 fouls in the game. The 3 yellow cards shown to Tivoli Gardens players. Cavalier with 4 corners, 2 more than Tivoli. And Tivoli in the end with the majority of the possession, most of which came in the second half. 60%.
Display from you today. Lots of work. I don't think you lost any of the duels that you were in. Was it easier than you expected?
It was a very tough game. You can see the scoreline is 1-0, so it's been close. Rough one, but we get through it.
The clearance you made that contributed to the goal, I think you had started it. I don't think you initially or intentionally went to start the attack, but is it pleasing to be a part of that goal in some way?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And hats off to the coach. I guess it's 2 touches he took and scored right after the command. Hats off to our coach.
Okay, well done to you and all the best in the second leg.
Thank you.
A good defensive display there. We always talk about Cavalier on the front foot, always the attacking side of their game, but today they shut out Tivoli. Coach, 8 shots, only 2 on target. What didn't happen for you in that attacking third today?
Well, as you know, that's an area that we have been struggling all season, and that amount of attempt at goal is low, especially when you're playing against a team that can hurt you at any moment. But I mean, we pushed through the first half. It was very rough for us, and we came out in the second half and we look a better team.
You talk about rough for the first half. Are you now second thinking or guessing or about the fact that you didn't make any changes to your starting lineup with the amount of games they played?
No, not at all. If you look at the time that we made the changes, those were time that we gave enough for the players to have expressed themselves and also not to have exhaust themselves too much. But I think the changes were good, and in terms of the gamble that we made with the starting level, it's not one that we're much too concerned. We see enough that we can go into the second leg on a positive note.
We saw a little activity in front of your bench at the end of the game. What took place there?
I don't want to comment on that. I think the referee did what he has to do, and we just have to focus on the second leg.
How do you get back into it now?
We definitely have to score a goal. We saw enough that we feel pleased going into second leg and confident. Also, we have 4 days before the next game, which is more rest than we got from the last leg of the playoff, and we're going to look to see how best we can use it to get back in this game.
All the best, coach. We'll see.
Man, thanks.
So, Tivoli there on the losing end. Coach P did say when you go on a long unbeaten run, then the signs are always ominous that run must come to an end. How pleasing was it for you to end that 9-game unbeaten run from Tivoli?
It wasn't easy, I must tell you, but we always had a plan. Anderson is the fastest player in the Premier League, we know. And with tiring legs, that was the right time we introduced him and we got a break. Hats off to like a Nico Shea Murray, which a lot of people don't understand, that is probably one of our best players. He kept his composure to make that pass, and really that was the difference between both sides.
It's one of those days as a coach that you feel so good about what you have done today. Tell me about Simpson being employed further up the park today. What was the plan behind that?
Yeah, you know, he used to pretend that he was a striker sometime early in his life and a top midfielder. So what we really did was put him up there because we understand that he'll apply some more pressure to the team. Didn't make them pass out very easily. So we actually, you know, force them to making long passes, and you know we have some very tall players around the back, so we nullified their passing game. They too nullified ours, but that was the reason why Simpson started there.
Okay, coach, well, it's a perfect day for you. Let's see if you can carry that into the second leg. All the best.
Thank you very much.
So, story of the first leg, Cavalier beating Tivoli Gardens by a goal to nil. The second match coming up. First leg, second semi-final, Mount Pleasant against Waterhouse. And we're certainly looking forward to bringing that to you. That's it for our coverage from the first leg, first semi-final. Stay with us for the second semi-final coming up, but we leave you again with the score. Cavalier 1, Tivoli Gardens 0. Cavalier with the advantage heading into the second leg come Wednesday.